Kids are a bit like farts, aren't they? You only like your own. Hi everyone, my name is James Mullinger. I am an English comedian, in case you couldn't tell from the accent. I moved from London, England to New Brunswick 2 years ago. It was, without question, the best decision I ever made. My wife grew up here in a beautiful place called the Kingston Peninsula, almost as beautiful as this. St. Stephen is absolutely stunning. I'm loving being here, and yes, I moved here and I do stand-up comedy all over the place. Done a couple of films, do bits and bobs of other things, but mainly I'm just on the road telling jokes. So it's a good life, and it's even better now I get to do it all in such a beautiful province like New Brunswick. I started performing in 2005 in London. I had always dreamed of being a stand-up comedian, but I never thought I would do it. I wasn't a very outgoing kid. I wasn't very popular at school. I didn't have any friends, so I would spend most of my time in my bedroom at home listening to tapes of comedians and watching VHS videos of comedians. If you don't know what VHS videos are, viewers, you Google it. They're wonderful things. You can find them at Value Village, and I collect those as well. And I think for me at that age, I loved obviously laughing, but a huge part of it was I couldn't believe when I watched these comedians, I couldn't believe that given I was too shy to even walk up to a boy or girl in my class and talk to them, I couldn't believe that people could walk out on stage and just act completely normal in front of hundreds or thousands of people. So I don't think I ever thought that I would do it. I just was amazed by it and fascinated by it. And funnily enough, it was a trip to New Brunswick, which has always been my happy place since I met my wife in the year 2000, and she's from here, so we would come back here once a year. This was always my happy place, and it was New Year's Eve 2004. We were at a dinner theatre in St. John on Water Street, and we were sat there being entertained by these, I guess, teenagers and 20-somethings, and they were absolutely wowing us. Like, we were laughing, we were clapping. And I was going through something of a quarter-life crisis at the time. I was about 26, 27. Kind of essentially I was depressed because I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. And I thought, how dare I sit here and be miserable about not doing what I want to do when I'm not even trying. Whereas these guys, whatever they're doing during the day, they're going out and performing every night. They are heroes right now. I just need to do it. And I went down to the bathroom shortly before midnight in St. John, New Year's Eve 2004, and looked in the mirror and swore that would be the year I'd do my first gig. And then finally in May 2005, I finally mustered the confidence and the courage to get up and do one, and it was a Caribbean bar in South London, and the first gig went okay, the next 20 went terrible. I then proceeded to perform 3-4 nights a week, dying on my backside every night for 5 years, and eventually started to get good, and then now I think I'm okay. Good question. I think what I love about performing is definitely the connection. I mean, I've always been obsessed with the art form of stand-up. So to me, I mean, I kind of, as well as doing it, I study it. You know, I'm that annoying audience member that if I go and watch, there's a great story about when Louis C.K. first came to London. He wasn't like a household name, but every comedian and every comedy producer in the whole of London went to this show. There was 500 people packed in this room, and he thought he was bombing because no one was laughing. But the reality was, we don't really laugh, we sit there analysing, and he would do a line and we were all going, wow, that is genius, I wish I was that good. But not actively laughing, and he thought it was going badly, and it wasn't. It's just that we were just in awe of his genius. So for me, I love being up there. I mean, that's what I live for. I'm not very good at life outside of being on the stage in general, so I love being up there and being on the road, meeting people, I mean, all those things, but really it's just being up there, delivering a punchline, the joke landing, and then 1,000 people laughing. There's no feeling like it. I've never come across a feeling like it anyway. I love the vinyl bun. I mean, this really is a dream come true, and I'm not just saying that. To me, the best thing about life in New Brunswick is having beautiful people like this around, beautiful views, barbecue, moose light on tap, all of those things. But the one thing I miss when I'm in a place like this is shopping for vinyl. Well, Greg has solved that problem by setting up the vinyl barn in the middle of this beautiful piece of land. We've got these wonderful views, we can enjoy a beer, we can't get bothered by anyone, and we can shop for vinyl. My wife can't even find me and stop me from spending all our money. Like, she will never find me here. So the vinyl barn, all I can say is anyone watching this, please come to the Vinyl Barn. Not only is it in a very beautiful place, but it's genuinely one of the best record shops. I mean, to give you an example, I shop for vinyl all the time, and I have bought more vinyl today from the Vinyl Barn than I have from most other shops. So that gives you an example of how epically brilliant Greg's stock is. I got a Megadeth 12-inch exclusive. I picked up a Frank Zappa. My dad introduced me to Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention at a very young age. So I've loved Frank Zappa ever since then. So I picked up a 7-inch Frank Zappa, and Greg managed to source me an album that I was having a lot of trouble finding, which is, again, another brilliant thing about him, which was the Friday the 13th 3D soundtrack, which I've been desperately after. It's blood-splattered vinyl, all the beautiful things I love. And so yeah, I've left with a good haul of stuff, and I'm very, very happy with that. Excellent question. Well, the favourite record in my collection is James Mullinger, Londoner to Maritimer, limited to 300 copies on blue vinyl, available today, Record Store Day, from the Vinyl Barn here in St. Stephen. It arrived in my hands just 2 days ago, and I got to sit, and having grown up listening to vinyl and loving vinyl, I got to wake up and put on my own record. And even though I actually do hate the sound of my own voice, which is, I know, hard to believe for someone that talks this much, and spent my entire life being told by people, God, you love the sound of your own voice. I really hate the sound of my own voice. But I listened to the album, and I'm proud of it. But apart from that, I would say it would have to be, I like weird stuff, just to be clear. I collect trauma movies, and one of their movies is a film called Surf Nazis, and it's about surfing Nazis. And the soundtrack to Surf Nazis is probably my favourite. I know you were hoping for something classy, like, oh, I've got an original pressing of the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour. No, it's Surf Nazis, the soundtrack. There's definitely a lot of differences between England and Canada. I mean, the main one being that Canada's far friendlier. Obviously, it's far bigger, but obviously has less people. England is just this kind of, you know, this vast cosmopolis of just buildings and people everywhere. I mean, give you a perfect example. You can go a month in New Brunswick without ever physically touching another human being that you aren't choosing to touch. In London, before you even arrive at work, you would have made very close physical contact with about 100 people. Getting onto the tube on the underground, your face is in someone's armpit, you're crammed in. It's a barbaric world, London, and I love visiting, but I didn't enjoy living there. And if people are interested in the differences between London and Canada, or England and Canada, may I recommend an album by an English comedian called Londoner to Maritimer, which is all about the differences between, even there, the track number 2 is London versus St. John. Highly recommended. I arrive at the airport and I'm phoning her saying, I'm here, and she goes, I can't see you, and it's a pretty bloody small airport. I was at St. John's. Oh. I know! Why are there 2 places with almost identical names? It's to keep English people out. That's what it is. It's to keep... Because I like this segregation thing you've got going on. Because when I first met here, there's a segregation thing here. I would go and I'd meet people and I'd be like, well, why is everyone here so nice? Why is everyone so friendly? And I know why. It's because you rounded up all of the difficult people, all of the arseholes, and you moved them all to Ontario. It's brilliant. It's really smart. I went to Ontario for the first time. I'm like, here they all are! This is where they are. And